Okay, good day to everyone. I am making this recorded discussion as your reviewer for the midterm examination, which is tentatively scheduled November 6 to 8. We did not have the chance to discuss face to face due to class disruptions, extreme weather conditions, and all those reasons. That's why I prepared this recorded discussion. Now, if you have questions after this, you are free to drop them in our group chat so that we can address them one by one. So I'm going to discuss here chapter 3 and chapter 4. Chapter 3 and 4 talk about language skills. So for chapter 3, we shall be discussing listening skills, while for chapter 4, we will be discussing reading skills. Okay, so let's now proceed. Basically speaking, we have 4 language skills. We have listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And among these basic skills that you need to succeed in life, listening is primary. It means listening is very important. Why? Because developmentally speaking, before you could speak, you could read, and you can write, you need to learn first how to listen. Okay, it also says here, if in all practices of life we could learn to listen, if we could grasp what the other persons are saying as they themselves understand what they are saying, the major hostilities of life would disappear for the simple reasons that misunderstanding would disappear. So it is simply telling us that if all people could learn to listen, then the major hostilities of life, just like misunderstanding, misconception, disagreement, ruined relationships, will not happen. So it's basically telling us, it's basically emphasizing that listening is very significant, not just in education but in our lives as human being. So the first topic here that we're going to discuss is the listening as a member of a live audience. As I have said a while back, developmentally, before you speak, read, or write, you need to listen first. You cannot compose words, you do not know how to pronounce a word if you have not listened how to do it first. And another thing is, listening establishes you in your life situations. It develops and maintains your meaningful relations with other people. Okay, so when we say listening as a member of a live audience, one example of this is when you are sitting inside the classroom and the teacher is discussing in front of the classroom. You are considered a member of a live audience. Say, for example, you are attending a seminar or a training and there's a resource speaker, you are considered a member of a live audience. Now, the question is, how can we listen effectively as a member of a live audience? So, let's define first what is listening. The first definition here, it says that listening is a continuing process that includes not only perception but also interpretation, assimilation, association, and reaction. So when we say listening, it's not merely sound reaching your ear, but when that sound reaches your ear, you must attach meaning to it. You must comprehend the meaning. That's the only time that you could say you are listening. And listening and hearing are two contrasting concepts. When you say hearing, take note of this, hearing is a physical act. Contrary, listening is a mental act. Hearing is said to do with physiological capacity to receive and process sounds, while listening has something to do with assigning meaning to the stimuli that reaches your ears to your brain. So when you attach meaning to what you have heard, that is already considered listening. Now, there are 6 components of listening. Now, when we say components, these are parts, just like your cell phone. What are the components of your cell phone? Of course, you have the casing, the battery, the SIM card. And when you say components, one will not work without the other component, and it will not be made whole without the other part. So that's about components. So we have here the 7 components of listening. We have volition, focus, attention, response, capacity to interpret messages and meanings, remembering, perception, and human being. Now, I will be giving you the clues for this because this is included in your examination. When we say volition, take note of the word will. Will, or your desire to listen, your willingness to listen. Because even if you are present in a seminar, you are present in a classroom discussion, if you do not have the willingness to listen, of course, you will not understand or you will not absorb the information. Now, we proceed to focus attention. So, when we say focus attention, you are giving 100% concentration to the speaker. It means that you are looking to her or him. It means that you are giving your ears to the speaker. Next, we have response. Response is this one. This is very essential in completion of a good listening, and this is where you can see that a person is actively listening when they are giving response or when they are giving feedback. Next, we have the capacity to interpret messages and meanings of others. Okay, you should have your IQ with you, your intellectual quotient, or your ability to understand. Okay, say for example, the terms there in the listening place or in the training or seminar are very technical, so you should have with you your brain. Next, we have remembering. Remembering is also very important in listening because when, say for example, the speaker is telling or sharing a story, and then if you cannot remember the first part of the story, of course you will not understand the whole story because it will be very hard for you to connect all the details or the sentences in that certain story that he shared because you did not remember the first or the second sentence. So, remembering is also very significant in listening. And then next we have perception. Perception means you must be aware of the elements of the speaker, message, and the context. Say for example, if a speaker or a person talking in front of you, you have diverse religion or magkaiba kayo ng religion. Say for example, you are a Catholic and he or she is a born-again Christian. Of course, you should be very open as to what ideas he or she is sharing. And the last one, we have human being. So, when we say human being, you must always be receptive to personal element. So, here, you must be 100% in the place because there are people who listens but they are physically present but mentally absent. So, those are the components of listening. Now, we proceed to the requisites of listening. So, when we say requisites, these are the requirement, the necessary matters to consider when we are a member of a live audience. Number 1 there is the listener must know the purpose of listening. Why are you listening? Are you there listening for you to be entertained, to be educated, to be persuaded, or whatever purpose is that? So, when we're talking of purpose, it simply answers the question, why? Next, we have the listener must understand and interpret symbols used by the speaker. So, when we say symbols, these are the gestures. Ayan, nakikita ka na pala ng speaker or ng teacher mo na hindi ka nakikinig. Tapos, pinapalaki na pala niya yung mata niya towards you pero wala ka pa ring reaction. Those are symbols. Or like, nilalakasan pala ng teacher mo yung boses niya pa bigla-bigla. That's for you to have your attention sa kanya. Next, number 3, we have the listener must put himself in the place of the speaker. Ito yung tinatawag nating empathy. So, you should say to yourself, kung ako rin kaya yung nagsasalita, what will I feel if this is my behavior habang may nagsasalita? So, that's empathy. Next, the listener must concentrate while listening. Ito na yung sinasabi ko, that you give your 100% focus when somebody is talking or when somebody is discussing or explaining. Next, the listener must be open-minded. So when we say open-minded, you are open to accept the point of view of others. You allow the point of view or ideas or information of others to be shared, and not only what you think is correct, and that's final. Next, number 6, the listener must be courteous while listening. Bakit po may word na courteous? You are only listening. You know, courteousness or being courteous, being polite is very important in listening, because here you allow people to speak out their thoughts and see things from their vantage point. So for example, being courteous is, ano ba naman tong speaker namin, elementary graduate lang siya, how could she speak before me, college ako? No, that should not be the attitude. You must be courteous because there are ideas or experiences of that elementary graduate person compared to you na baka hindi mo rin na-experience or hindi mo rin alam yung mga information na ibibigay niya. So, that's being courteous. And then number 7 is, the listener must play the role of the speaker. So, it's almost similar with number 3, the listener must put himself in the place of the speaker. So, those are the requisites for a good or an effective listening. Next, we have the 3 factors affecting listening. So, sometimes, yes, ginagawa naman natin yung requisites of listening. Nandun naman tayo, nakakonsentrate naman tayo. Yes, we are courteous. Yes, we have empathy. Yes, we know the purpose. But sometimes, still, we cannot absorb the information being discussed or being explained. That's because there are 3 factors. We have here the 3 factors. We have physical and mental state, prejudices, and environment. You know, you imagine listening to a seminar or a speaker for like 6 hours from 8 to 2 p.m. from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Of course, hindi ka makakapakinig ng maayos because maybe in your physical state, gutom ka na, and your mental state also, you do not have the energy to absorb the information. So, nakaka-apekto yon. If you are depressed, you are stressed, you are angry, you are sleepy, you have personal problems, lahat yon nakaka-apekto sa tinatawag nating listening skills natin. No matter how willing we are to listen, how willing we are to absorb or understand the information being discussed, if we do not have that good physical and mental state, we will not be able to do it effectively. Next, we have the prejudices, or these are the prejudgment. Pre means before. These are our belief, these are the bias na fino-form natin that are not based on fact. Say for example, ang speaker natin ay maitim. So just because maitim yung tao, nagfo-form tayo ng judgment sa mind natin, ay baka hindi to magaling, walang kaalam-alam tong itim-itim niya That's prejudices. Or like, nag-i-intro yung speaker at sinabi niya, I graduated in Di Mabirbirukan School as walang honor, wala siyang flying colors. At sasabihin mo na yung sa sarili mo, hindi naman pala siya nag-graduate na may ranking, hindi naman pala mataas ang kanyang grades. So, siguro walang silbing pakikinig ko. Yung hindi pa niya tapos, yung kanyang dinidiscuss, wala pa siyang sinasabi, but you are already forming final verdict sa kung ano yung kaya niyang gawin. That's prejudices. Next, we have environment. So, let's say, for example, you are in inside your classroom and your teacher is discussing, pero while your teacher is talking, merong naglalagare, may nagchi-chainsaw sa tabi ng classroom ninyo. Of course, you cannot listen effectively because of course noise and all that can affect your listening skills. And then of course, kapag ka sobrang mainit, ganyan, may mga smoke, bumabagyo, kaya nga kinakancel din ang klase pagka malakas ang ulan, not just for your safety, of course for your safety, but for other reason that hindi rin naman makakaklase si teacher. Paano nyo ma-absorb yung information kung ganun yung situation? So itong tatlong to, nakaka-apekto siya sa listening skills natin. Excuse me. So we proceed now to topic 2, that is watching TV films and documentaries. So watching is also a skill, but one thing that you use in films and documentaries is also your listening skills. So you use them together. And watching film documentaries and other television programs can be regarded as useful way of practicing listening skills. So here we have films and documentaries. What do we mean when we say documentary films? Documentary films are non-fictional motion picture intended to document a reality. Take note of this. Kapag documentary, ang dinodocument niya ay reality, and the primary purpose of this is for instruction, education, and maintaining historical record. Actually, ang documentary films is sometimes called actuality film kasi nga sabi ko kanina, it is trying to record reality. So, para mas maintindihan pa natin, let's distinguish the difference, or let's identify the differences between documentary film and feature film. So, when you say documentary film, actual representation of fact, people, and situation. Walang gawa-gawa. Talagang nag-exist yung situation na yon, may tao talagang ganon, may event talaga na naganap na ganong scenario. Well, feature film, fictional. When we say fictional, it's just a product of imagination. Now, we proceed to the goal or aim. Ang aim ng documentary film is to educate, to inform, and to instruct. While kapag feature film naman, ang goal niya is to entertain. Para magpatawa, yan, para mag-evoke ng laughter, ganyan. And then documentary film is reality, feature film is all about fiction. And then pag documentary film, recorded real life events. Pero kapag feature film, scripted po yung mga nandoon na nakikita natin. Now we have this types of documentary film. We have the first one, expository. From the term itself, expose. So you're trying to expose something, maybe one thing that happened in the past, one thing that people did not witness, and it's important for you to educate people. Example of that is an expository documentary, history. Yung History Channel. Next, we have the observational. Observational is, of course, this type of documentary focuses on observing the world. Just like yung matanglawin, ino-observe nila paano naglilay ng eggs, yung mga animals, ganyan, paano sila nagre-reproduce, something like that. Next, we have participatory. From the term itself, when you say participatory, pinagsamang expository at observational. And when we say participatory, yung taong gumagawa ng film, the filmmaker, from time to time or at some point of the film could be heard behind the camera. So, nandun na si filmmaker or yung nagbi-video, nandun siya mismo. Next, we have the reflexive. So, it's almost similar also with participatory, but only that dito na sa reflexive, meron na tayong sinasabing extreme use of suggestion toward the viewpoint makes the documentary especially successful. So, may viewpoint na tinatawag dito. Viewpoint ni filmmaker, viewpoint ng camera. na pwedeng bumago doon sa story, doon sa gusto mong i-emphasize. Next, we have poetic. Ito yung it focuses on images, experiences, and shows the audience the world through different sets of the eye. So, say for example, documentary, a poetic documentary is when they ask a doctor, they ask a normal citizen, they ask a politician about this certain thing. So it's on the different perspective. And then performative, of course, is perform yung experience mismo ng filmmaker. So, just like pagluluto ng pagkain. So, yung vlogger na Ninong Rai or Kamangyam, that is performative kasi sila mismo yung nandoon, sila mismo yung gumagawa or gumaganap. So, that's all about watching TV films and documentaries. We also have here listening to announcements and instruction. Okay, so announcements and instructions are indelible part of your life as university student. So palagi kayong nakakarinig ng announcements, ng instructions as students. And you know, one thing about announcement and instruction is that you know, you need to carefully examine everything that's involved in there, the instructions, the structure, so that you could grasp the meaning. Okay, what's the difference between announcements and instruction? So when we say announcement, these are short factional texts, either spoken or written using formal words that contain information. Take note that announcement uses formal words. When you say formal words, ito talaga yung talagang ginagamit. Yung hindi buo-buo lang, hindi siya gay language or whatever is that. Say for example, they're going to announce na mayroong bagyong parating. Of course, they're going to use direct languages. Yung talagang term na ginagamit kapag ka nag-a-announce ka na may paparating na bagyo. Now, when we say instruction naman, this contains detailed information about specific process in order to understand how to complete a task or to make sure tasks are carried out in a safe manner. So, instructions or directions, ito yung mga nakikita nyo sa mga test questions pag nag-exam kayo. So, yun yung tinatawag nating instruction. So, that's all about chapter 3. So, I am also going to explain here your output. So, you will be submitting 2 videos to me. So, you will choose your group mates with equal number of male and female. So, there should be 10 members in each group, 5 to 10 members, minimum of 5 and maximum of 10 members. You're going to create or to make a podcast or a recorded announcement. One is recorded announcement, and the second one is a movie trailer or a movie teaser. So mag-isip kayo ng movie ninyo, pero wag na kayong gumawa ng movie, yung teaser lang niya. Kailangan nandun kayo sa loob ng movie. So the deadline is 1 day after your examination. Just 1 day after your examination, you are going to upload your output on a Facebook group. Okay? So, that will be your output. Isang recorded announcement, any announcement. Any na lang, any announcement. And then, any announcement about school, about the school, ganap dito sa school. And then, be it intramurals, Christmas, or my program, ganyan. So, any announcement about that. And, of course, movie teaser. Choose your group mates. Minimum of 5 and maximum of 10. Gawa ka ng Facebook group at dun nyo i-upload.